Hello, welcome to Grim Survival. We're back with another grim video. It's a grim kind of day, in case you didn't know. Today we're talking about food. Well, the lack of food, the upcoming lack of food. Lack of food, yeah, that's it. I don't know if you've noticed it. If you've watched YouTube, you probably have. If you've watched TV, you probably have not. Just saying. But we're having problems growing food throughout the United States and the world, it seems. I believe it was Australia that their wheat crops failed. They had to import wheat. Canada, I believe it was a drought, and their wheat crops are having issues. China, the most recent thing I seen, I watched a Ice Age farmer video earlier, and he was talking about the apples in China. I guess the prices of apples have just skyrocketed. It's like $2 or $3 an apple, for instance, where in the United States you can buy a whole bag of apples for like $2 currently. So apple prices in China, among other things, it's all over the world. And I'm not going to go into all that. If you really want to know, watch Ice Age Farmer. He'll tell you all about it. Awesome YouTube channel there. In the United States, corn, soybeans. That's the biggest thing. Now, I live in the Midwest. I'm a truck driver. I drive through the Midwest, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio on a daily basis. I see the cornfields from all these places. So this is what I see everywhere I go. This is just an empty field. That's where corn should be, in case you were unaware. Corn is supposed to be in that field. Every field I go to, it's just, there's no corn. There's no soy. There's no nothing growing. That particular field had been plowed, so they did try to plant there. Whether it's going to grow or not is questionable. The amount of flooding we've had in rain, just so much rain. Every day I have seen rain where I've driven. Well, 90% of the days it's been rain. It rained today. It rained on my way to where I'm sitting in northern Illinois. I have seen roads flooded out. I've seen bridges just flooded over. I've seen endless amounts of rivers that are just overflowing with water. They're full, and you know, it's not getting any better. It's only getting worse. This is a road. That is a closed road. That is a bridge with water on it. Sorry about the poor quality of picture. I'm showing it to you off my phone. But in case you were unaware, bridges are supposed to have water under them, not on top of them. Might be something to look into if you didn't know that. Flooding. Too much rain. The farmers can't grow. They can't plant their crops because the cornfields are just saturated. So they try to turn the dirt. It's just mud. You go down a couple inches, it's just mud. There's nothing you can do about it. A lot of farmers I think it's less than 50% crops have been planted and we're talking middle of June right now. It's cold out today. It's in the 50s. I'm in northern Illinois. It's the middle of June and it's in the 50s. So that's a problem also. Weather is weird. I believe 2 days from now it's going to be in the 80s. So what happens when it goes from cold to hot in a very short amount of time? Thunderstorms, rain, more rain. It's coming. I believe rain is in the forecast for this particular area uh, every day next week, save for one, maybe one. But more rain, less crops. Now you're not going to see a major problem with this immediately. People are being weird outside my truck. Just walking around, there's a truck backing up right across from me, and he's like this far from my nose. He's probably gonna hit me. He probably won't hit me. Hopefully, he won't hit me. I've been hit before, so you'll see. Anyway, where was I? Oh, you're not going to see a problem with the food right now. It's not like an immediate, oh my God, we're all going to die. Well, we are, but you'll die on your own time, maybe on your own terms, just depending on the kind of life you live. But anyway, enough of that. We're not all going to die immediately because, we still have food stores. What farmers do is they have an overage of corn and dried goods, wheat, grain, whatever it is. There's always an overage every year because we plant more than we need. So we put it in silos and warehouses and storehouses and things like that, dry it, keep it for next year. We use this throughout the winter and the spring for making the things that we make with corn and soy and grains, breads, cereals, etc. Look it up if you want to know. So we use that throughout the winter and next summer. While the corn is growing, we are using the corn from last summer. So if there's no corn being grown this summer, what are we using next summer? No. Nope. We are not going to have enough. You're already seeing price increases on things that require corn, cereal, for instance, things that require corn to make other things like chickens. Chickens eat corn, in case you were unaware. So that being said, I believe it's chicken nuggets. My wife buys constant supply of chicken nuggets for my children. They love chicken nuggets. It's the frozen ones in the bag, and we've already noticed that the bag is the same size, the price is the same, the chicken inside the bag is not the same quantity. So you're probably already seeing it with your cereal also. They're going to start lowering your quantities, and they're going to keep it in the same size box with the same price, so you're not really noticing the deficit. But basically it's just another way of saying the supply is more than or less than the demand. Let's see if I can learn to talk today. Another problem that the farmers are having that nobody seems to be talking about, but I've noticed it a lot, and if you live in the Midwest, you've probably seen it too, is butterweed. It's the yellow flower you're seeing in the cornfields. It looks like that, if you can see that. That is butterweed. It's a invasive flower. Well, it's an invasive plant that grows throughout the winter and in cooler weather. I believe it grows in the early part of the year's winter cycle and seeds in early spring in the cooler wet weather, meaning this spring you've seen, like I just showed you, a lot of fields of flowers. Now this particular plant is toxic to wildlife such as deer and cattle and livestock, sheep, humans. Yeah, if you're livestock, you may be. It's toxic to you. It's toxic to your cows. Deer know enough not to even go near it. So if you're a deer hunter, don't look for deer in cornfields this year. Unless you want dead deer. Already pre-dead deer. Anyway, moving on. Butterweed. Now this plant, what it's doing, by the time you're seeing the yellow flower, it means it's seeding. So you have a crop that's already been seeded of evasive plant that you cannot get rid of. Well, they say they can't get rid of it, but it's becoming so hard to control because, like I said, it's already flowering, so it's going to be just that much harder to get rid of it next year because it's seeding all in the cornfields. Cornfields are full of it. I have seen some corn crops that have been planted, such, they're about half of the farms I come across. I see about a quarter of each farm, maybe less than that. I didn't do the math on the percentage. Plants are about that big, and we're talking the middle of June, and the plants are about that big. Some of them are maybe about that big, but general speaking, they're about ankle height at maximum. And if you're familiar with Midwest policies, I guess you could say, the corn is supposed to be knee high by the 4th of July. That's a saying we have in the Midwest. It's not getting there. So you're about a month late, I'd say. A month late on all the crops that have been planted, and those crops are struggling because of all the rain. Meaning this time next year, if we have any kind of deficit, anything happens, even the smallest thing, let's say an early frost in late September, early October, these plants are a month behind, so their harvesting is going to be a month behind. So if you have an early frost, that's going to damage, if not kill, pretty much the whole crop. And we're seeing crops fail all over the world. We're seeing it in China, Australia, Canada, all over the world. So it's coming. Like I said, it's not an immediate thing. It's not, oh my God, we're all going to die, run for your life, and the sky is falling kind of thing. But it's looking pretty grim. It really is. One little disaster, one tropical storm pushes through the south and pushes right up into the Midwest, and just that's it. We're so flooded it's going to just wipe out crops. One frost at the end of the year. Early frost, that's going to be it. It's just going to wipe it out. So then you're not going to have your stores for next year. So then you're not going to have, corn is used for more than what you think. It's used for ethanol. It's fuel. It's used to feed your cattle. It's used to feed, your supplements through the winter. It feeds your cows. It feeds your chickens. It feeds your pigs. What are you going to do if you don't have cows, chickens, or pigs? That's all your chicken nuggets. You don't have chicken nuggets. That's not good. You don't have steak. You don't have burgers. You're not going to be able to go down to McDonald's and get you a burger because there's no corn, and the corn is, well, I guess for a minute when they kill all the cows because they're all starving to death, and you'll have like an abundant of burger for a few months because yeah, there's a lot of cows, but it's coming. You have food supplies stocked. I would suggest dried corn. Dried corn's a good thing to stock right now because you can still get it at a fairly decent price. Although that price is already going up, it's only going to get worse. So buy corn. Hey, it's grim, I know, but we all got to go sometime. Might want to start stocking food. It's coming, I'm telling you.